Hey, welcome to episode 10 of the Bad Batch podcast. Whether you've seen one Star Wars film, played some games, or become a hermit and mastered all content of the Star Wars universe, this podcast is for you. I'm your co-host, Justin Samoy, and I'm here with Drew Criswell.
Welcome back.
And BJ Davis.
What's up?
And you were warned here. I don't know if we'll spoil anything for you, but this is your spoiler warning at the beginning of the episode.
Most likely we will.
Probably.
So I guess to kick things off for news-wise, happy birthday, John Williams. I know you're a big listener of this podcast.
Happy birthday to you.
There we go.
That's it.
That's all you get.
But yeah, I mean, he's made all the music for the whole saga.
Yeah, huge part of like Star Wars from the beginning to now, and like let alone Star Wars. Like think of all the other movies and stuff he did. Like just a legend.
Yeah, I think my most listened to song this year is actually Across the Stars because I use it for productivity reasons and it gets me in a mood.
I've been meaning to ask you what that song was because I wanted to listen to it while I was reading the High Republic.
Yes.
Did I?
Yeah. No, it's the Anakin and Padme love theme. It's like do 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 do.
Honestly, like listening to John Williams when you're reading Star Wars it's like makes it so much better. Oddly enough, as weird as like you would think it would be, I guess, but it works.
Yeah, no, I mean that song is perfect because it's like it gets kind of like epic at some points, but it's not too much. Because I used to do Duel of the Fates, and then they're just like screaming like do 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 do, and
yeah, it ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, happy the big 8'9" for JW.
8'9"?
Yeah, he's 8'9".
Wait.
No, he's 89. Or is he?
I was 81.
The big 8'1". We got 8 more years until the 8'9".
Yeah, we're building up.
We'll get there.
Yeah, happy birthday, John Williams. And then also in other news, this comes from Reddit user Orca. Orca is not alone. It's a great name, but I don't know how reliable this is, but it says EA is working on a small scale Star Wars game that will release this year, and it isn't Battlefront or it's not a third person game like Fallen Order, but it will be a shooting game. So
yeah, I thought I saw something about that. It's like a first person shooter type game.
Mm-hmm.
You said it's like smaller scale or something?
Yeah, it's gonna be smaller, like so. Yeah, not like Battlefield or Battlefront.
I'm sure that'll be just like a fun one just to like play here and there, kind of like how Squadrons was smaller. You know, it's like has like a dedicated audience. From what it sounds like, this one will be kind of more broad to the like normal just gamer outside of like Squadrons, which was very
niche,
targeted to either a diehard like Star Wars fan or people who are a fan of like pilot games and that kind of thing, which is of course like a smaller audience than in general what you'd be going for with just like a first person shooter, right?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good like flight simulator game, and you can't go like third person, so you have to be in the cockpit the whole time. And yeah, I'm like so bad at flying games. Yeah, I got it. I played it for a couple hours, wasn't very good, but
isn't it like very strategic? You have to like play within like a certain role, and like it's like people take it kind of serious.
Yeah, the first game I got one like kill and I was stoked, but like other people were dropping like 25 kills with the plane. I was like, or the X-Wings and stuff.
It's like flying games can be fun if it's like campaign and stuff, but once you get online, I'm like, forget it. This is lame.
Yeah, the people are like nice at it.
Do we know like anybody who's making it, or is there any information about that kind of stuff yet?
Yeah, not like who is designing the game. I can't think of the word, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of EA's 25 production companies.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll definitely kind of like keep you guys up to date with that as far as when we get in more information and everything about it. Now, I guess yesterday, as we are recording this, was the big game. We all know the big February Sunday football game, the big one.
Yes.
With the big commercials and the big teams.
The two big teams.
So as far as like content and stuff that we got, obviously did not get any Star Wars trailers like that we thought we might. I thought we might get a Cassian and/or maybe a first real trailer or a teaser trailer or something. Justin, I know you're saying that you're kind of wishing we got like a Bad Batch trailer.
Mm.
Well, I was kind of surprised we didn't get anything, but what did you guys think about that or any other properties that drop stuff that you guys want to talk about?
I definitely think they should have had a Star Wars, and I'm not being biased. It's just we're kind of in the Star Wars realm right now. But other than that, like the Winter Soldier, that was a good commercial. I watched that 2 minute.
Oh, you guys watched the full one?
Yeah,
It looks good.
It does look good.
Like this isn't Star Wars, but I would definitely talk about this right now. It looked super good.
yeah.
Yeah, with Disney Plus having, I think they had 2 spots during the big game. Almost said it, but yeah, it was one. There was just the Disney Plus commercial, which is cool. Ended with Mando saying, "This is the way." It was a cool trailer, and then the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and it's like after I thought about it for a while, like I thought we would get more Marvel stuff too. Like we were talking this before, like kind of wish that we got either a Loki or maybe even a Black Widow trailer or something like that. But when you think about it, like these shows they have to hit, so they space all their big hitting shows out kind of because they have to.
Yeah.
They don't want to compete with it within themselves because it's Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it kind of does make sense that it was only Winter Soldier and Falcon that got that spot because you don't want to run into the same problem that they ran into with, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, Solo and Infinity War, where you're pushing one so hard, but both are coming out, and then you get no marketing for the other one.
Yeah, I feel like they're spending so much money on these shows too. Like, how much was WandaVision? Like the most.
Was it 25 million or something?
An episode or something, right?
I don't know.
The like most expensive TV show ever. I feel like people are gonna watch it and they didn't need to market to it. Like we wanted to see it, but they didn't need it.
Yeah, it's kind of like sells itself in a way.
Yeah, I also think it makes sense that they go one at a time because they have Star Wars and Marvel together. Have like something coming out every month for next year, 2 years maybe.
And I don't think that they were like far enough along with the whole Andor thing. Like I'm sure they haven't even finished shooting it yet. I'm pretty sure because they just started production stuff a little while ago. So I guess that kind of makes sense too that we wouldn't get anything in. As far as a Bad Batch trailer, I don't really know if the big game audience is is the kind of like your target demographic where you would want to be showing trying to get people into animated stuff. It just tends to be like a little bit of a harder sell, and the big game audience might not have been the way to go.
Actually, my dad, he doesn't watch Star Wars stuff, and he saw the Disney Plus commercial. And then he kind of got interested in Mandalorian. And I'm like, that's a perfect place to start. Like, you watch the first season, especially, and it doesn't really connect to anything.
Yeah, it's like perfect standalone, just something to watch. But that was crazy how Disney Plus started with that as their kind of flagship one, which is how it's kind of been until WandaVision hit. Like it was pretty much they had season 1 of The Mandalorian and the Jeff Goldblum show where there are two
High School, the musical, the series.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh, and Black is King.
Yes, that too.
Okay, they had a lot of stuff come out after the get-go.
I'm saying,
Star Wars, it was.
Yeah, like at the beginning of Disney Plus, they were kind of just rocking with like 1 or 2 things here and there, but now it's really starting to pick up.
Yeah,
it should be good. But overall, slightly disappointed with the big game ads, but we will get over it.
We will get through this.
Now, something that kind of goes along the lines of TV and all that kind of stuff. The Mandalorian was actually just nominated for a Golden Globe for Best TV Drama Series, which is kind of exciting because Star Wars is one of those things that is like, unless you are being nominated for like sound design or some different like special effects things. It's very rare that Star Wars projects in general get recognition for the actual story or for um, things kind of outside the technical realm, if you will. So I thought that was just really cool because it shows people like this is a good story. Like there's legit like a good drama behind it, great creators, like performances are great. It's finally getting like legitimate recognition, which I just thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great acting, great. The sets, they only like went on to one place, right? And they filmed everything else inside.
Yeah,
I
mostly
forgot what they called it, like
the volume thing.
the volume. Yeah,
The volume is so cool.
I know, yeah, and they're using that for other projects too, which we'll probably get into a little like, right after this. But yeah, it is cool that they're kind of carrying that over, and then, like I said, finally getting some recognition. Cause I know, like every time the Star Wars would come out or something, whether it be like Oscar snubs or whatever, there's certain things where some of those movies should have been recognized for some stuff, or performances in those movies kind of get pushed aside as they're just sci-fi or something, so you're just kind of pushed off into a corner. But if you look at like Adam Driver, depending on, I mean, you have your opinions about the sequel series in general, but like the performances were really good. You could argue Adam Driver could get like supporting actor, lead actor, depending on the movie. Um,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of stuff like that.
it's cool to see you get recognized, not just for its technical achievements. Because I mean, it's a great show.
Yeah, I'm glad it's finally picking up some steam. Now kind of moving on with that, we have some like industry news and stuff. I know a couple weeks ago we were talking about and have been here and there talking about when things are going to drop because it's not fully clear yet where everything's going to lay out. There's very vague dates for the different Star Wars properties and projects that'll be dropping here in 2021 and 2022. But from what it looks like, there was a news release or something that came out of actual Disney, like D23. I think it was maybe an investor call, something like that. And it leaked that it looks like the Bad Batch series will be dropping in the spring of 2021. I knew before that we thought that maybe it'd be like March, which I guess still kind of lines up with what we're hearing. But
It could also be June.
yeah, I mean, who knows? But it's good to know that we're getting a series about Star Wars something soon. So, what do you guys think about that exciting news?
I'm super excited. The Bad Batch part of Clone Wars was probably one of the best parts. And again, I really think that they're gonna maybe show Baby Yoda or Grogu for like, even if it's for like an episode. I think they're gonna have him
like they do with like when they put in young Kanan in season 7 of Clone Wars, kind of like that. Yeah, because you want them to like allude to other stuff and start making other stuff connect. But it's a good take. I think it'd be super interesting to see that happen.
Yeah, and it'll be good to have our like that's the name of our show is the Bad Batch, so we could talk
Our
about
namesake.
the Bad Batch. So,
but yeah.
I was just gonna say they also in the animated stuff they also focus on the Mandalorians a lot. So I think we're gonna see more of what happened in that in between time.
Yeah, I think that will be super cool. To kind of see like that history back there and just how maybe they carry that over and they connect to stuff in like season 3 of the Mando or something like that. But I mean, it'll be good. And for you listeners out there, I'm pretty sure you could guess this, but we'll be doing weekly episode reviews and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have a segment of the show devoted to that. So if you want to follow along with us, see our reactions after, make sure to stay tuned because fun stuff is coming your way.
Excited.
And then in other news relating to different projects that are kind of picking up speed and kind of getting a better idea for when we might get stuff. Ewan McGregor was on with Eddie Izzard, I believe it was, doing an interview with him, and they were talking about how Obi-Wan series is going to start filming here late spring 2021, I believe.
It's not in March? I thought
No,
they were filming in March.
He said like late spring. So, I mean, like, I guess probably more like May time period. But what he said too, he was like, Ewan was talking about how funny it was that he's seeing all these like fake reports about where they're filming and stuff. And he was like, yeah, my dad's texting me being like, I thought you were just filming in LA and it says you're in England. And he was like, no. So they're filming it all on the volume, like kind of like we were touching on before, which is super cool. And he touched on that, how revolutionary it was for the Mandalorian, how cool he thought it was. But looks like we'll be getting Obi-Wan sooner. We're getting there. So I mean, I'm happy about that.
It's gonna be a while till we get a trailer or anything like that.
But just any news in the spring.
Yeah, any news about Obi-Wan will be.
When do you guys think we're gonna get that?
Maybe.
Or let me phrase this better. When do you think we'll get our first trailer? It's probably an easier question.
This Christmas maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say like late fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of in that mindset too. Like, just they'll probably have like a very small like teaser, or like you see him like once or something. Like he like turn and you'll see his like head out of a hood or something like that.
Yeah, be like Metroid Prime 4, where in 2016 they dropped a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
For what?
The logo for Metroid Prime. It's a Switch game, and then that was it.
It's nothing.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything since. So that's.
Did you like pre-order it? Was it you?
No, I don't think you can pre-order, but it's coming up on 5 years.
Oh wow, I'm pretty sure somebody pre-ordered it. Haven't got their money.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh, also with the Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
They said that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are supposed to like fight or something.
Yeah, they'll have.
That's pretty interesting. Like how that's gonna work.
Yeah, it's because some people are calling back to the line in A New Hope where Darth Vader says, "Where once before I was the learner, or I was the
apprentice."
Did he call him? Did he say apprentice? Well, who cares? Whatever. He was basically, I am the teacher now. You are the student or whatever. Basically saying he surpassed him. People are saying like, well, they already had their final fight. He can't come back again. It makes no sense. But actually, if you go back and you watch Return of the Jedi, there's a part where Luke is trying to turn Vader, of course, and that's his whole like mission in the second part of that movie. But he was going on to say how he thought there was still light in him. He wanted him to turn. And then Darth Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. Now, we don't see that at all in episode 3. The last thing he says is, I hate you. And they act like they never see each other again or anything. But I think that's what they're going to do. It's going to be Obi-Wan trying to get Anakin back at a certain point. And then it's going to like make that scene and everything have like a little bit deeper meaning, because there's definitely stuff to expand upon there, I think.
Yeah, and that means Obi-Wan has to leave Tatooine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like the first bit of that show, like the first couple episodes, will all be on Tatooine, and then I think he'll end up leaving, and for whatever reason here or there. But I feel like they're gonna put you in Tatooine to kind of like ground you, like similar how, spoilers for WandaVision, similar to how like WandaVision in the first 3 episodes is exactly what they told you were getting. It was like a sitcom, for the most part. But I feel like that's kind of where Obi-Wan is going, in a sense of they want to give you that world that people have been wanting to see, like his life in general, relationships, lifestyle, all this kind of stuff. I think you're going to see that a lot, like in the first 2, maybe 3 episodes, and that's after that is when you're going to like pick up your plot and him go off and fight Vader, and who knows.
Do you think it's on Mustafar?
I don't know. It would be kind of cool to see him back there again. But I would also wonder if they do it somewhere else, like kind of iconic, like just off the top of my head, like if they went to Naboo and like fought there, like in front of like Padme's grave or something. I think that could be like kind of crazy.
Wow. I also think when they do fight, Obi-Wan's gonna win again.
Yeah.
Because I think he could even like chop something off again, but he's like Darth Vader's part robot, so it doesn't really matter. But I think it's gonna be he beats him again.
Oh, how much do you think that there is going to be at least one play on the high ground thing in the show? It has to be.
Oh, definitely.
You know they're going to
Maybe
say
Vader
something.
doesn't. No, actually, I agreed with you that Obi-Wan wins, but maybe he doesn't win, and that's why Vader thinks he's the master now because Obi-Wan has to run for some reason, similar to when Count Dooku knocks the thing down, like the pillar, and Yoda has to save Obi-Wan and Anakin so he can get away. Maybe Obi-Wan does something similar, where he could win against Vader at that moment, but he had to go.
I think we'll have to start taking bets on this show to see if the first line that Ewan McGregor says as Obi-Wan in the series is "Hello there."
Hello there.
Hello there. That would be so funny.
Yeah, is that too fan servicey though?
I mean, Star Wars always. It kind of is, yeah. But like, they always do that stuff where they're kind of winking at themselves, kind of thing,
Oh, like I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like it wouldn't surprise me. I think it'd be funny if you do it right. But if
he actually has no new lines. It's only sound bites from previous things.
It's like all sound bites that don't fit in the scene at all.
You thought he was getting his own like script, but they just voice over.
We're just recycling it. All right, but so I think that will do it for news and rumors for this week. As you know, we're going to do that every week. So come back next week for news and rumors, but we'll now be moving on to viewer questions. Viewers like you send in questions to people like us, and we read them and answer them. So let's kick it off.
Yes. All right. So the first question is from a listener named Lawrence. Thanks for asking the question, Lawrence. And the question is, what canon books have you read? We can include audibles in this question.
Okay, perfect. Because I was gonna say, I hope that's
yeah, Drew's still grasping how to read, so
but he can listen.
One letter.
Listen like a champ.
Listen real good.
Yeah, you start.
You want to start?
Yeah, no, I'll do it. And then, so I have read The Light of the Jedi, which I have right here.
Ooh, I need to get on the grind again. I say that every time it's brought up. So maybe I should just get the audible.
So canon books I've read is just this one, actually. Just finished this. I have the Darth Vader comic, but that's I don't know if it count. You guess what count? I've read that.
Okay. But
then Light of the Jedi, just finished that. Really, really good. But non-canon, I think I have that one right here too.
The one and only.
Darth Plagueis. Very good.
It's not canon?
No,
it was before that.
But they haven't touched on that story since, so I'm counting it as canon because it's pretty cool.
It was before the Disney acquisition, so technically it's Legends.
I think it was like 2011, and then Disney bought it, the next year? 2012.
Yeah, but I mean, universally, people love that book. I've heard, like you said, there's nothing
and then
so good.
I think this is the next book I'm going to read, unless I get Into the Dark from the High Republic.
I've read that. It's good.
So those are all the canon books those are all the books I've read Star Wars wise or starting to read, but I haven't done any of the audibles yet.
Let me see if
the audibles, if you guys have not checked them out, are super, super good. They get really good voice actors, and sometimes depending on the book, like I'll touch on in a second when I go into what I've read / listened to, they'll get even the like voice actors and stuff who did the characters in certain different mediums and things like that. And they add music and sound effects. It's really like, honestly, it's kind of like listening to a movie. I always suggest it. I just didn't do it this past time, but as far as audibles and books I've read most of Catalyst before I saw Rogue One. That's kind of like a precursor to Rogue One.
I do have Catalyst. I actually haven't read that.
It's pretty good. I just ran into I'm just gonna see Rogue One and done reading it. Then I got the entire Ahsoka book. I think that's by Dave Filoni, actually. That one's awesome. It does have some weird continuity stuff now with season 7 of Clone Wars and stuff, but it still mostly checks out. It's just small details that you just kind of have to live with and get over. And then I read the book Last Shot, which was like kind of around when Solo came out, and it's about like Han and
Corellia
Lando when they're younger, and it kind of bounces around timeline wise, and like young Ben's in it. It's pretty good, and the guy who does the voices is like unbelievable, like perfect Harrison Ford, perfect Lando, like it's insane. Yeah, so I read those. I read most of that Thrawn book actually, which is really good. That kind of shows you a different kind of a perspective on Thrawn that you don't get in like Rebels and stuff like that.
For me, I have this.
Oh, nice.
Literally just Revenge of the Sith, but scholastic version.
Nice. You get that at the book fair?
Yeah, probably at the book fair in like 2000, whenever it came out, or a year after. And then, of course, Live of the Jedi.
Yes.
We will review the book.
We will review the book.
You continue to read.
Yes.
It's really good. Yeah, so I finished this last week, and I had like the whole last act to finish, which like maybe 100 pages. And then I was like going to read a chapter just so I could keep doing it, and I finished it right there because the last act is a movie.
Really?
But yeah, no, the way that they tell the story, they just keep jumping from different perspectives, and it's similar to how like Marvel does their movies, or even Star Wars, where you're in Rey's perspective, and then you're with Finn and Poe, and then you're with Kylo on a different.
It is a cool way to do it. I did like. I mean, the 5 chapters that I've read so far are cool. I do like how they structure it and how the story kind of like flows and stuff.
Yeah, let me tell you, if you haven't read the book, the first chapter kind of just took me by surprise. I did not think that was going to happen. I was like, am I reading Game of Thrones right now?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones vibes. Sequel to this just come out, right? The sequel book to this, so Jedi or something.
It's kind of confusing. They have like the adult section, then they have the young adult section, and then they have like kids books, which are very noticeable because they're like picture books. But so the Light of the Jedi is the first adult one, and then Into the Dark, which just came out last week.
That's a novel, right? That's by Claudia Gray, I think.
Yeah, I think that one's by Claudia Gray. That one's technically young adult. So they're all part of the High Republic, but it's like just a different storyline.
But it's not that. It's not the
sequel to Light of the Jedi.
No, what am I trying to say? It's not like the comic book one, right? It's like a legit novel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a different story. Oh, well, not a different story. It's like in the same era because the main character in Into the Dark, he's in this book. I don't know. You guys haven't read that far, so I don't even know what to say. But yeah. So Rising Storm, the sequel to this book, Light of the Jedi, comes out in June.
Perfect. Cool. Well, there you have it. Now you know all the books we've read. So moving forward, this one comes from our good friend Jess. She asks, do you think Jar Jar is a Sith Lord? If so, how? I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, this legitimately before Force Awakens came out, I think this was one of my favorite theories I ever saw. And it sounds so stupid, but it actually is. It kind of makes sense a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, it was a really fun theory with like how he's been planning it the whole time. And like if you look in the Phantom Menace at Qui-Gon's funeral, you can see Jar Jar mouthing something. And what does he say that they think?
I don't know. And they went in such detail. Whoever broke this down, kudos to you. They were like literally breaking down frames where his mouth is moving, where he's supposed to be whispering secrets. And then, like his kind of like martial arts is like a certain style.
It's like the drunken martial arts.
Yeah.
And
they like break down every little thing and like how he manipulated the situation, did all this stuff. It was awesome. I really, because you didn't really see anything of Snoke before 7 came out. I was genuinely hoping. I was like,
Same.
this would be awesome.
That rumor was the reason why I like tried the sequels. I was like, I really hope Jar Jar's the the main bad guy.
And they had that
George
interview
Lucas.
of George Lucas from like the Phantom Menace, and he was like, Jar Jar is the secret.
Jar Jar's the key to it all.
Jar Jar is the key to it all. And they're like, see, I knew it. And then they didn't do anything with it.
And he does say that. Maybe he was a bigger component before the Phantom Menace got its reviews.
It would have showed that they had some kind of plan.
Yeah, I really hope they still expand on this. What if he's still like a Sith Lord?
I forget which book it is, but some author kind of like capped off his story. I might have mentioned this in the show before. So
I think he
forgive
did.
me.
How he becomes like a circus.
He's like a
Street performer.
performer. He's like a clown that like kids throw tomatoes and stuff at. And
I
like,
think it's part of a larger plan. He's playing the long game as he has been. How old is he now at that point? He's playing the long game.
yeah, he's playing the long game. He's doing the old Darth Maul thing, go away and come back. Oh my god. But the thing is that like if they did it right, I think people would love that. I think that's hilarious, but also could be cool.
Yeah, exactly. I know people like Brie, she hates that. She does not want that to happen. But I think it's hilarious.
It'd be fun, even if it was like a fake vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like they were like somebody had like was drunk at like a bar and like had that vision and they thought it was Jar Jar.
See, that's a story they should flush out in the Lego video game.
Oh yeah, they can work on that in the Lego game.
That's something you can do in the video game. You don't continue Finn's story in it, and
Jar Jar show
we
up.
want more.
Jar Jar's the key to it all.
Wasn't he like? Didn't he have like a queen who just like wanted him?
Yeah,
like,
that was the weirdest thing in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? Didn't you send us like a meme or something one time where it was like the fans are like, "We have had enough of Jar Jar. We don't want anymore." And they're like, "We heard you loud and clear. We're gonna make him a playboy." And he just goes like hooking up with this like queen.
This little queen. It was kind of weird how they also made that like the Mace Windu episode too.
Yeah, what was
like,
that?
They're like, oh, we forgot about Mace. Let's just throw him in with Jar Jar.
I would love to have seen that episode get pitched. Like that makes no sense.
Okay, so next question. This comes from my friend Alexio. He said, what is the likelihood that Kylo Ren killed Grogu?
I'm gonna say unlikely.
I'll also go unlikely. I think that Grogu's story like takes a turn from because right now we have it on a path where it's going in a very linear direction, and you kind of just know what he's doing now. He's just trained to be a Jedi. I think at a certain point, the Mandalorian is going to divert from that kind of trajectory. So I don't think he's there at that point. And also it'd be a poor business decision for Star Wars to do when you have this character who you can stretch out into the future and make the future of your franchise be able to go to certain places and tell certain stories and timelines where maybe people wouldn't care about that before if you didn't have this like character now who is so well known in pop culture.
Yeah, no, it'd be a big mistake financially. I mean, just from all the love that Grogu gets, but also for kids' toys.
Yeah.
Or adults that buy the toys.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, brings in so much money. Like they made 3 Cars movies because of the amount of toys they sold.
Exactly.
So
no, like for real, the toys are what make it go around. Like do you know Young Justice? Yeah, it got canceled because girls were watching the show and they couldn't sell the toys to girls, so they canceled the whole show.
Oh my god.
So the figures and everything are the reason why they keep doing this. So
that's why the Ewoks were in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Wasn't that like why like Sony for so long was kind of being appeased by Disney because when they're allowed to use Spider-Man because they got like merchandising like equity in that or something, and they were just like, all right, cool, because it was so much money, and they only had like 1% of the merchandise or something, some
But
weird.
Sony, I forgot who got. Someone obviously got like all the toys, and someone only got opening box, like opening weekend numbers. That might have been Disney who got that. But I feel like
I'm not quite remembering the deal fully, but yeah, I think it was something like that, which just shows the power of toys.
Yes, and the pop funks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the collector things.
But yeah, I don't think they kill him. Or
Just for that reason alone, I think they don't kill him.
Yeah, literally.
Because the theory does make sense, but I feel like we want Grogu to do other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and escape another Skywalker rampage.
Literally.
So I actually forgot where I saw this, but I think the Grogu being like Bran, how we said, how he shows up every couple episodes is actually going to be more accurate. I forgot where it was said, but they were talking about how Mando needs to develop on his own because he's completed this mission. He can't just be a father saving Grogu the whole show.
Yeah.
So
I think that makes sense.
yeah, and then we also have Mandalore with Bo-Katan and everything. So there's direction for the story to go without Grogu having to be involved in every episode.
Yeah, it also kind of makes you wonder like how much more you're gonna see like Luke in that, and then weren't we talking a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or something where there was rumors that they were like Han and Leia were gonna be in something, and I'm just wondering now if maybe they kind of like do a big three reunion, and you get that on the Mandalorian, which would be interesting, but it depends on how people feel about recasting those roles. I know we talked about that a little bit beforehand, but it does make me kind of curious to see if you do get that, how much you will get that, because I do agree that the show does kind of need to focus back on the Mandalorian a little bit to kind of build more connection with that character in a way.
Yeah, I agree. I think we said that it was like, what if this happened? But I don't see it happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, I think Din needs to develop on his own and have more Mando time.
Yeah, and like that way you can make your story just bigger in general, right? So you can maybe, depending on the relationship now with him and Bo-Katan, you could go in that realm and kind of see, maybe we go to Mandalore and see about reclaiming that, and that's a big story arc, while you also have Grogu training and stuff, and then somewhere down the line they connect again. But yeah, and that'll only help the show in general, because you're just creating so much more room for different stories to be told when you kind of break them both, and you have this big umbrella almost of where you can kind of take that show.
What if they treat the show like they treated Rebels, where season 1 character introduction, season 2 all the cameos, where like Ahsoka comes in, Darth Vader, and Rebels, Ahsoka came in both, but and this one is just Mando and team for the 3rd season.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like that formula. Yeah.
I think that would be cool. It makes sense. But just going back to like our last question, I don't know if they're ready to lose out on season 3 at Grogu merch just yet. So I'm sure you will see like some stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll see Grogu.
Yeah.
But like, do we need? I guess if we see Grogu, we have to see Luke again. Not have to see. I'd be really cool seeing Luke.
It'd be cool to see like if there's like you go and see if Luke had made this like temple and shit stuff, and then you can just take that and kind of run with that too, because you could see like the building of an academy and stuff like that.
I feel like if we do get Luke, it'll be like Grogu's by his side, and we'll just see like his like basically his knees
the
down.
black shoes.
Yeah, the black sheep. He's like, but it'll be mainly focused on Grogu. Like we'll hear him, but we won't really see him.
I feel like they're gonna. Yeah, exactly. I feel like exactly what you're saying. Like if he's in there again, which like now you put him in there, he kind of has to be like in some aspects.
Yeah.
But you gotta commit to like completely just recasting it and like what we thought before was Mark Hamill actually was not Mark Hamill playing him. I believe it was like some Swedish or a European actor, I think, that played him that looks a lot like Mark Hamill. So I wonder if you just go all the way and just be like, this is Luke now, and for like very small moments and stuff, but like just kind of the CGI was problematic. I think you just lean back.
Corridor Digital's version of?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so good. And they added extra effects, like light, like sparks flashing in the background, and the lightsaber, like going back.
Yeah, that looked really good.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Justin, who is it again?
Corridor Digital. They're like a video effects company or like YouTube channel, and they took a bunch of independent films and stuff like that. But they also have like breakdowns of CGI, and they also make some scenes better. Like they made, if you've seen The Mummy, where The Rock plays the scorpion, and it's the worst CGI ever. They fix it, they make it look good. They do some like crazy stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they kind of touched up the Luke scene in Mandalorian, so you guys should definitely go check that out.
Yeah, and they actually also have a breakdown of the CGI or the effects from Star Wars, the original trilogy, and they show how revolutionary the technology that George Lucas and his team are using to make a space opera. So yeah,
overall good stuff.
Okay, and for our last question, comes from Brandon Fryer. He says, will you guys be doing character breakdowns? I want to hear more about Qui-Gon Jinn, Bossk, and Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, so this is something that we've kind of been discussing about bringing on into the show. Now, if you guys at home like this idea, we can just definitely let us know because we're super open to kind of doing character breakdowns, some maybe lesser known characters in Star Wars, or maybe if you guys have an opinion on a character, we can, touch on that and see what our opinions on certain characters moving forward. But this goes along with, sending questions into the show and stuff for these kind of Q&A episodes. You can always message the Bad Batch podcast and just give us a character name, and we'll do our best to like break it down, look into it, and then have it ready for the next week's show. So
I think it'd be fun to do character breakdowns because everyone knows about Anakin, Luke, Obi-Wan, like even Ahsoka at this point we know a lot about. But like talking about Qui-Gon, who's only has one movie, or Bossk, who's in like 5 minutes of Empire. Is he in Return at all? I actually don't remember.
No, he's just in that scene of all the bounty hunters.
And then he does have the Clone War episode, but
oh yeah, and Glup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good Jedi. But yeah, we'd like to talk about all the niche characters, or even if you want like a more serious breakdown of Anakin's career. Just kidding, he has 9 movies about it. And then
yeah, watch the 9 movies. Yeah, and like Kit Fisto, like I don't even know all these. So like when you guys, like Justin and Drew, they explain it, it'll probably be the first time I'm really hearing about them too. So I think that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, so we will most likely definitely be bringing on as a segment in next week's episode and the episodes going forward. So looks like next week will be Qui-Gon Jinn, Bossk, and Ahsoka Tano. So listeners, get ready for that.
Drew,
and then, like I said, just
actually, I think next week we're gonna have a guest.
Something else planned next week. I was gonna let you finish.
Yes. Correction.
Correction.
Yeah, next week we will be having a guest. Woo! And we're going to be talking about the sequels, and the guest name, I can't really pronounce that. You guys?
It says Eamon.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just
So we'll be having that guy on. And then the following episode, we will have full character breakdowns for you.
yes.
Yeah. And then actually we'll put up a poll or something like that for a character that you'd want us to talk about, discuss.
Yeah, and you can keep up with us on the Instagram stories. I know we put we try to put a lot of interactive stuff on there. So, Bad Batch Podcast on Instagram. Always be checking the stories out.
And then also you want to follow us on Twitter at the Bad Batch Pod. It is run by our lovely BJ. And also subscribe to us on YouTube. We post the video episodes the next day and clips from the video. Like we break it down specifically, like just talking about the question about doing character development and stuff like that. So
yeah, so we'll be having all that nice fun stuff coming your guys' way. Episode 10 really rolled around pretty quickly. We're rocking and rolling with the show, so we definitely just want to say thanks to like all the listeners and everything every week. We certainly appreciate it, and this thing has grown more than we probably thought it would. And here we are at episode 10, so we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. And like I said, thanks for listening, everybody.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Until next week.
Bye.
Peace.